A lot of companies out there think that they know exactly who their users are and exactly what their users want. This is a totally understandable position for a lot of organizations to hold, because they think to themselves, okay, we know this, we've been doing this, we're not idiots, and we've been around the block several times, so of course we know who our customers are. This can begin with essentially people just doing the same thing that they've always been doing, and it might continue to be fine, and it might continue to just keep things trickling along. But what they don't do by having that, it gives them this kind of tunnel vision, and therefore suddenly huge cultural changes or technology changes happen and they aren't ready for them. Or in other cases, their user base that they've understood has evolved and changed and adapted, and suddenly they find themselves lagging behind, and by that stage it's often too late. Or it's incredibly difficult to catch up from that. The worst thing that can happen is that you literally put something out there that's so tone deaf to the needs of your users, because you're plowing on with your same mindset, that you actually create something which has a massive negative impact on your business. The challenge there is that you have to have this almost humility to be able to say, you know what, we might have certain amounts of insight from certain things, we might have some amount of feedback from certain places, but actually, do we truly know everything? And I think it's something that's good for every human being to admit that you don't know everything. I completely understand organizations that there's a kind of subconscious reticence to do that kind of thing. But it's hugely liberating, and it can be done in very small ways. It can just begin by having organizations start thinking, well, you know what, let's look past maybe just our analytics, or let's look past just our customer services logs, and start going out and actually talking to users, finding them where they do what they do with your product, and starting to talk to them and starting to listen to them and observe them as well, observing people using things. What we've seen is that when organizations do embrace this approach of being honest with themselves about their own ideas, when they get themselves into a position where nothing is sacred and everything is on the table, you can just see the mindsets that have changed in people. Because what you've actually done is people have suddenly got empathy for these users. These aren't just numbers on some analytics charts. These aren't just a specific kind of like demographic group from a marketing document. They're real people, and they're real people with problems and challenges and emotions and feelings, and you can see them, and you can see them in their real environments, and you can see how suddenly this changes something within people in organizations when they see this, because they can suddenly start seeing all these opportunities come out. It's not about smashing your sacred cows and everything being terrible and blame being thrown around. It's not about that at all. It's about people suddenly seeing, oh my God, we could do the following things. We could do this here, and actually that would work for them. All the previous things are kind of not forgotten, but they're kind of put down for a moment, because suddenly new ideas that are born out of really seeing people need these things come forward. And that excites people. And it can trigger this whole feeling of this sense of innovation, the sense of we're actually creating something that's truly going to work.